So today what we are going to do is we are going to see simple tools like project first, right? So what I'm doing over here is, let's say I want to create a ceiling design for a room, right? So for my room, the length of the room I'm keeping it as 8 meters, right? And the width of the room I'm keeping it as 6 meters, right? So I have a rectangle of 8,000 cross 6,000. Right? Everyone's with me? Okay. Now what I'll do over here is I'll just offset this room, right? And let's say I'll keep my wall thickness as 220. Right, and then I'll just open my properties panel over here. I'll extrude my walls. I'll extrude them by 300 units, right? 3000 units, sorry. Right, so I have my walls like these. Right, seems good with everyone? Now what I'll do over here is, so I'll place these everything in, let's say, a layer name structure. It's because this is my structure, and yep, like this, right? And then I'll change the color to, let's say, greenish, right? And I'll place both of them in the structures layer. Seems good with everyone? Yep. Now what I'll do over here is I'll orient my C plane along this wall, right? And then what I'll do over here is I'll place my C plane like this, and then I'll create a curve, right? And I'll create a smooth spline. Right? And then what I'll do is I'll also place my C plane over here. Right? And then I'll create one more curve. Is everyone good with this much? Can I proceed further? Yes or no? Or do you need time to do this? Okay, I'll wait for 2-3 minutes and then we can start, right? The Al Bahar example, a lot of you have not uploaded, right? Still the assignment on Classroom. Right. How many of you tried it? No? Okay. What we'll do is I'll give you one more day to complete it, and then tomorrow we'll do it, right? I want most of the people to try first that assignment on your own, right? Just give it one more shot. Everyone's done with this much? Okay. Where are others? Mulindra, sir. Okay. What I'll do over here is then I'll take both of these curves inside my grasshopper, right? Like this. So first I'll select one of the curve, and then I'll select the other one, right? Our aim for today is just to do 2 scripts, but then there will be a lot to be explained, right? There is a lot that I'll have to explain in the just 2 scripts. So stop me wherever you don't understand something. I'm audible, right? Okay. So is this done with everyone? Can I proceed further? Ujjwala, can I proceed? Perfect. ZS. Right. Sanat, can I proceed?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Now what I'll do over here is I'll just loft them. Right? So you see something like this is happening. The reason why this is happening is because this curve's domain is starting from here, while this curve's domain over here is starting from here. Make sense to everyone? Yep. The domain of this curve is starting from here, while the domain of this curve is starting from here. Hence, when I try to loft them, something like this is happening. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to flip one of the curve. So I can use a component which is known as flip curve over here. And I can, let's say I'll pass my first curve through flip curve, and then I'll connect it like this, right? And then I get a normal surface. Seems good with everyone?
Adnan, can you turn on the
Bifocals? Yes.
bifocals? Yeah. Thanks.
Everyone's good with this much? Can I proceed? Yep. Okay. Now what I'll do over here is I'll find bounding box. Right. So there is something called bounding box over here, and I'll pass my lofted surface through a bounding box component. What it will do over here is, if I hide everything else, uh, right, it will create a bounding box around my surface. Seems good with everyone? Yes or no? Okay. Now what I'll do over here is I what I'll do over here is now I'll take this. I want to find out this surface, right? The surface on the top. So let's say one of the ways I can do is I can use list item over here, right? So if I have a bounding box over here, first what I'll do is I'll pass it through deconstruct breps, right? And then these breps I can pass it through a list item over here, right? And that will give me, let's say if I create a number slider between 0 and 6, right, it will give me that particular surface, right? So this is the topmost surface. Making sense to everyone? Yes or no? So I had my lofted surface over here, around which I created a bounding box, right? And then what I did was I deconstructed my brep so that I had those individual faces for my bounding box. And then with list item, I just selected the face on the top.
Adnan, I'm getting the side face of the box.
Amod, so what you need to do over there is change these numerics. So again, the fifth face for me is the top one. The fifth face for you might not be the top one.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
Welcome. Working for everyone? Perfect. Can I proceed? Okay. So now over here, what we did was we used a number slider and list component to in order to find the face on the top, right? Let's say I don't want to use that method. The other method that I can use over here is I have all the faces over here, right? You may choose to do whichever method you want. I'm just showing you two different methods, right? I just want everyone to see on my screen for like 2 minutes and then you can do it on your own, right? Am I having everyone's attention? Okay, fine. So over here I have these faces with me, right? What I'll do is I'll find area. When I find area of these faces, I'll get their center points, right? This much is good. Now what I'll do over here is I'll use deconstruct point over here, right? What deconstruct point does is it takes these centroids of each and every face and deconstructs them into x, y, and z component of each point. Make sense? Right. Now the face on the top will have a center point whose z coordinate is the highest. Yes or no? Yep. So what I will do is I'll sort them. What do I want to sort? So whatever you want to sort will go into values A, right? So I want to sort these faces based on their Z component, right? Okay, let's do one thing. I'm creating a new script, right? I just want everyone to look on my screen for like 5 minutes and then you can do it on your own, right? Let's say what I'm doing is I'm creating an array and I'm creating a linear array, right? And then I'm creating a point, right? I'm passing these, I'm constructing a point, right? The direction I'm giving it as x direction, right? And then I'll use, let's say, 500 over here, and count, I'm giving a count of 10. Everyone's good with this much? I've created an array of 10 points. Everyone's good with this much? Yes or no? Yep. Okay. Then what I'm doing over here is, let's say I don't want to use this, I'll use a simple number slider only. Right. And then I'm creating a sphere. Right. Okay. And then I'm creating sphere over here. And for radius, let's say I want to use a random number. So I'll connect these random over here. And then I'll have to construct a range. So I'll say construct domain over here. Right. And my domain, let's say I'll keep it from 500. Let's say over here, I'll keep it as 50. Not 50, 10. Right. So basically what I have done over here is I am using spheres like this. How many random numbers do I want to generate? Let's say I want to generate again 10 random numbers because I'm having 10 points, right? And over here like this, you see like this, I have 10 spheres with 10 different radius. Everyone's clear with this script? How many of you are having doubt with this script? Anyone?
Adnan, I had a doubt. So
Yes.
the random number that's generated, it always follows the minimum maximum that you give in domain and domain start, or it doesn't?
Yes, it always follows that.
So as in, will there be a minimum of 50 in one of these spheres?
No, it's not necessary.
Okay.
That's not at all necessary. So if I go and connect to panel over here, you see it's 164, 110, 74. So no 50 over here. The least is 51.66. Right. Everyone's good with this much? Yes or no? Perfect. Okay. Now when I use list item over here, right, I'm connecting my list item over here. So this is my sphere 1, right? So basically this is the first item in my list, right? This sphere, right, is this one. Now I'm connecting a number slider from, let's say, 0 to 9 over here. Right, so this is my first sphere, this is my second sphere, this is my third sphere, fourth sphere, fifth, and like this, right? This is good. Everyone's clear with this? Okay, now what I want to do is I want to arrange these spheres in ascending order. Right, so what I'll do over here is first I'll find the volume. Right, so I have my volume over here for all of these spheres, and then simply what I'm doing is I'm sorting them. So what I do is, what do I want to sort? I want to sort these spheres based on their volumes. So I connect my volume to my keys over here. Right, and then if I do list item over here, right, I'll connect to values A, and then if I do again create a number slider from 0 to 1, you see this is the smallest sphere, the first item in my list. So sort item always arrange everything. Sort, what it will do is it will always arrange your list in ascending order, right? So this is my first item, this is my second item, this is my third item, fourth item, fifth item, like this, right? And this is the maximum. Seems good with everyone what sort item does. Now how does sort item work? Let me explain. The way sort item works is, see, there are balls with you, right? So let's say you have one sphere over here, you have one sphere over here, and you have one sphere over here, right? You have these 3 spheres with you. Let's say the volume of this sphere is 3, the volume of this sphere is 8, and the volume of this sphere is 2.1. Seems good with everyone? Now, as a human, when I tell you that, okay, sort these spheres according to their volume in ascending order, you'll just simply look at all of these and you can arrange, right? But suppose you did not understand a concept of volume in the first place, right? You cannot look at an object and you cannot tell the volume. You don't know the concept of volume. In that case, what you simply do is you associate this sphere with this numeric over here. Right, you associate this sphere with this numeric over here, and you associate this sphere with this numeric over here. And then what you simply do is you just arrange these numerics in first ascending order. And then once you have arranged these numerics into ascending order, you remember that, okay, I had to change my third one to the first position. Right, I changed my first one to second position, and I changed my this to the third position, and accordingly you also place your spheres, right? You also apply the same operation on your spheres, right? So the same thing works over here, where you give your volumes to keys. So first it arranges the keys in ascending order, and then whatever operation had it done on keys, it will do the same operation on spheres over here, right? And you'll get your things in ascending order. Seems good with everyone? Yes, I want all of you to quickly try this script. Anyone having issues, please go ahead. I'll be back in just 1 minute.
Hey, Anand, we
Yes.
can't hear you.
Yes, sorry. I was just asking, are you good, everyone? Ahmad, were you able to do the script?
Yeah, just need another minute.
Yes, sure.
To confirm. Yeah, thanks.
Ujjwala, yes, works. Okay. We'll wait for 1 minute for Amar to complete and then we'll proceed. Okay, let's proceed. Right, what we'll do is I will go to the previous script again. Right, where this was a script. I want all of you to open this file again. Everyone has opened this file. Yep. So what I'm doing over here is I'm doing the same thing over here, right? Where let's do it again. So I had these two curves with me. I just lofted them. After flipping one of them, I created a box section. Now what I want to do over here is I want to arrange these faces, but this time I want to arrange them based on their heights, right? So what I'll do over here is I have these faces with me. What do I want to do? I want to sort these faces, but then I want to sort them based on their Z components of their center faces, right? I want to sort these faces based on their centroids. Seems good? Is everyone done with this much? Or do you want a minute to complete this? Okay. Shall I proceed? Oh, or you want another minute? Yes, you are nodding both the ways.
Sorry, typical Indian nod. I'm good.
Okay.
So Adnan, I had a question.
Yes.
Once we did this script to this point,
Uh-huh.
when I add a panel to the list item.
Uh-huh.
No, sorry. What? Sort list. Oh, your last one is sort list. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Right. So I have this with me, and then when I arrange my list item over here, it will give me the bottommost panel, right? It will give me this panel. The reason why it will give me this panel is because it arranges the list in ascending order, right? So the center point of this panel has the least Z component, right? Now, what I can do over here in order to get the topmost face is either I can use the last index, or what I can do over here is I can right click over here and I can do reverse list. What reverse list will do is it will then arrange the list into descending order, right? So I'll have the top panel over here. Seems good? And then what I will do over here is I'll isotrim this surface. Right. So over here I have this face with me. Right. This topmost face with me. I'll isotrim it. And then I will use divide domain over here. Right. Divide domain square. I'll connect this over here, I'll connect this over here, and then let's connect two number sliders, right? 12 and then 12 over here, and yes, something like this seems good, right? Can I proceed?
Yes.
But the reason why I'm going slow is, again, the reason why I'm going slow is because this is going to be a long script, right? If you are stuck somewhere, stop me right away. Amod, can I proceed? Okay, cool. So now that I have these individual surfaces, what I want to do over here is I'll deconstruct these VREFs so that I get all the vertices. Now, as a first step, once I get all these vertices, there will be, see, each surface right over here. Let's say if I take this surface over here, for this particular surface, this is the vertex, this is the vertex, this is the vertex, and this is the vertex, right? But for this surface, again, this surface, I have again this vertex over here, one vertex over here, one vertex over here, and one vertex over here, right? Now, hence, we see that vertices are getting repeated. So what I want to do over here is I'll use component called cull duplicate. What cull duplicates does is it deletes all of these vertices, right? Duplicate vertices. And then over here, I'll just do flatten over here.
Sorry, but I'm stuck a little behind.
Yes.
So when you iso trimmed, basically I didn't iso trim a surface. I was on the centroid on top. So what have I done wrong?
Can you share your screen?
Yeah, sure. You'll have to enable.
Try again.
Yeah. So basically from centroid.
Okay. So what you have done is, see, what do you want to sort? You want to sort the surfaces, right? So in your values A, you connect the VREFs, the faces.
Right, but I don't have B reps over here currently.
Can you pen left? Okay.
Okay.
The faces, correct.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, works perfect. Right, so you have these points.
I'm also getting an error. Sorry.
Yes.
When I do the ISO trim, it's coming out to be a red this thing saying data conversion failed.
Okay, share your screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hover your mouse over the error. Okay. No. Click on the bubble, red bubble.
Yeah.
What is it saying?
Data conversion failed from number to surface.
Okay, so that means it's getting a number, whereas it's expecting a surface, right? So what is, can you hover your mouse? So what have you given in surface? You have given list item output, right?
Yes.
So I want you to hover your mouse over list item then, the output of list item, output.
Okay.
Okay. A little lower. You might be getting a panel. Okay, connect a panel to that list item. Okay, so that's the number, right? Ideally, there should be a surface over there. Now, what is the output from values A? Can you check?
All of these.
Right, so connect it to the panel. Right, so your output is number, right? Pen left. Okay, so again, see what the error you have made over here is what you want to sort will go into values A.
Correct.
Right, so you want to sort the surfaces, so surfaces should go in values A. And your Z component should go into keys.
Okay. Keys. Oh, okay.
You did the other way.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Works? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Can I proceed? Okay. Right, so I have these points over here. Now what I'll do over here, what I want to do over here is there is a component in Kangaroo, which again we'll use later on in this workshop itself. But there is something over here which is known as naked points. Right. What it does is right. I have this point. Let's do another method. I have these points over here. Everyone's good with this? Right. Now what I will do over here is I have this rectangle with me, the outer rectangle. What I'll do over here is I'll extract the edges of this rectangle. And then I'll join them. Right? Seems good? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Ujjwala, are you good? Both. Amod, are you good?
Could you repeat it again?
What I've done is I have this surface over here from list item. I've just taken its
Yes.
naked edges and then I've joined them so that I have one uniform outer curve.
Yeah.
But that's it.
And after B-rep edges, what did you join it to?
After B-rep edges, I just did curl duplicates. Over here. B-rep edges, I just joined
Join
them.
curves. Okay. So we are not using
Naked points. No, we are not.
Naked vertices anymore.
No, we are not using that.
Okay.
Can I proceed further? Okay. Now what I am doing over here is there is a component which is known as curve closest point. This component over here, right? If you want to find it, you will find it under curves, analysis, and then over here, right? Basically, curve closest point. What curve closest point does is, let's say if you have a curve over here, you have a point over here. What it does is it finds a point for you which is on this curve but closest to this point, right? So typically it gives you a perpendicular point. Seems good, right? So what I'm doing over here is I have these points with me. I am finding curve closest point on this particular curve. Seems good with everyone? Okay. So what I'm doing is these are my points and this is my curve. Right? Now, if I find the distance between my original point and the curve closest point, will it give me this distance? I will get that by this distance. So what I'm doing over here is, in that case, what I'll do over here is I'll use distance component. So what am I finding distance between? I'm finding distance between my original point and then curve closest point. Seem good with everyone? And then what I'll do over here is I'll use something called curl. And then what I'll do is I'll use less than sign, right? So if my distance, which is my first number, is less than 2, right? So let's say I'll use 5 over here. So if my distance is less than 5, then it will give me a value of true. Otherwise, it will be false. right? So what is happening is, let's say I'll just explain you this full script usually, right? I want all of you to see on my screen for some time. I have this rectangle with me. I have one point over here. I have another point over here. I have third point over here. I have fourth point over here. I have fifth point over here. What I want to do over here is I want to eliminate these points which are on the outer curve. Hence, what I'm doing over here is first I'm projecting these points on this line, right? So when I project this point on this line, let's say for this point, I got a point over here. But for this point also, I got a point over here. Everyone is clear with this much? Yes or no? For this point, my projection was here. But for this point also, my projection was here only, because this point is as well as on line only, right? It's on line itself. Now what happens is when I calculate distance between this, let's say the distance is 7. For this original point, black color over here, the distance is 0. Now what I'm doing is I'm setting a condition that, okay, if my distance, let's say 7 in the first case, is more than 5, that means it's depicting true over here, right? Else what it will do is it will show me false, right? Everyone's good with this? So then what I'm doing over here is I'll use this true and false value to delete all those points. Is everyone clear with what we are trying to do? Okay. Coming back to Grasshopper, just look on my screen for some time. What I did was I had these points on with me. I had this curve with me. I wanted to delete all of these points, right, that are there on the curve. So in that case, what I did was I projected all these points on this curve, right? So there are multiple points over here. It's just that because they were in grid, you are seeing only one point, but there are multiple points over here, right? So I projected all of these points on this particular curve, and the output that I got was like this. Now I'm calculating the distance between the original curve, original point, and the projection point, and then I'm using this over here, right? Less than sign over here, and then over here I'll use curl pattern, right? So what do I want to cull? I want to cull these points according to this pattern, right? Over here I'll have to use greater than. Right? So I had this point and now I successfully culled these points, right? So now this is what is left with me. Right? I have culled all the points of the curve. I want all of you to quickly try and do this. If you still don't understand the logic, I'll explain you again. Just let me know. Amodar, did you understand what we did? Okay. Ujjwala's ears. Okay.
I have a very weird question.
Yes.
But like there should be a button that kind of minimizes your script so that it's visible and all the.
There is.
Awesome.
You can always create clusters. Where did it go? I'll just over here, right? Clusters. So if I create a cluster, it has just compiled everything into this particular thing.
Okay. No, I meant like they.
Yes. You can definitely do that. We'll create multiple clusters. I don't know if you have taken second and third workshop, but yes, we'll create many clusters that time.
Okay, cool.
How do you turn the bifocals on?
You need to have that plugin installed. If you go to Food for Rhino, you will get that. Can I proceed further? Okay. Now what I want to do over here is, let's say, what I want to do over here is, I'll create a simple cone, right? And this cone is going to depict my light, right? Right? A very simple thing right now. You can go as complex as you like afterwards. And then what I will do is I'll go to my grasshopper and I'll do set one brep over here, right? Like this. Make sure your cone is in a good scale, right? It's in 1:1 scale, right? So let's say I'll measure the distance. I want it to be at least 20. So this is good, right? 150 millimeters. I'll still scale it a little bit. So I'll scale it 1.2 times. And I can hide. Everyone's done with this much? Yes? Yes or no? Can I proceed? So I'll take this cone, and what other thing I'll take is I'll place a point over here, and I'll also take its top point. Right? And then what I'll do is I'll simply move them with 2 points, right? So what do I want to move? I want to move this geometry over here. Right? And where do I want to move it from? I want to move it from this point over here to this point over here. Right? So you see I have all my lamps over here on my surface. It's not on surface, right? Still.
Sorry, could you show the connection of the point and the brep again?
This is my cone that I want to place it on the surface, right? And this is the point on the top. Everyone's taken this much into grasshopper. Now over here, what I'll do is I'll use another component which is known as project point. What project point does is the points that we had, it takes those points. Where do I want to project? I want to project on this lofted surface, right? And the direction I want my points to project in negative z direction, right? So I'll use z direction over here, but I'll give a factor of -1. And then what I can do over here is I can use move 2 points. Right, so you have your lights that has moved on this surface. Everyone's good with this much? Yes or no? Yes, you look confused. No, it's good, right?
Carry on. I shut my Rhino file without saving it, so I have to make. I'm making the rectangle and the curves again. It's fine. Just carry on.
Okay. Ahmad, were you able to do this? I'll give you all quick 2-3 minutes to complete this. Meanwhile, I'll take a quick break and come back. We'll start again at 8. Shall we begin again?
Hi, I had a question. What was the point that you took? The cone was the B rep, right?
Yes. So what I did was cone के ऊपर ही मैंने point place कर दिया था.
Okay. Could you also show what the script connects to, please?
Ahmad, are you done?
The end is just the lamps getting connected to the surface, right? At the vertices.
Yes.
That's it, right? Yeah.
Now, Adnan, I'm getting a second layer of cones as well, but like below the surface.
Okay. Share your screen.
Yeah. That.
Okay. Can you zoom out?
Sure.
Okay. Pen left. Pen left. Okay. More. You forgot to flatten. Pen left. Pen left. More. Yes. Vertices. The output vertices from deconstruct BREP.
These?
No.
Sure.
Yeah. You right click on vertices. There is something called flatten. Okay. And then yep.
No, I'm still getting it.
Okay. Can you give me remote access?
Sure.
So these are the points. This is the outer point. Deconstruct less than. These are the inside points. We are projecting these points. Direction we have given -1. So again, what did you connect to the surface over here? Geometry usually you need to connect this one, right? The loft one, because you want to project your points on these.
On that, okay.
On that surface. So I'll connect this over
Right.
here and then I will have.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe you want to scale your cones a little.
Yeah, I'll scale them down. Okay. Thank you.
Everyone's good. Can I proceed?
Yeah. Adnan, I just had one question
Yes,
before you proceed. How do you unhide objects in Rhino?
Unhide objects. Show. You type show in
Show.
command line.
Okay. Got it. Thanks.
Can I proceed?
Sorry, but I've messed up my script. Can you help me, please?
Yes, yes. Go ahead. Okay, give me remote control. Okay, so let's see if it's good till here. Okay, so it's good till here. I'll just do zoom. Yep, it's good till here. Why have you connected so many geometries? You just need to connect this one. Give me a second. Right, it's working. Okay. Can I proceed?
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, can I proceed?
Anand, how did you unhide objects in Rhino? Once again, sorry.
Show. You type show in command line.
Oh, okay. Okay, great.
Okay, can I proceed now? Yep. Now what I'll do is I'll construct line segments. So what I'll do is I'll type line over here. And there is something called this line, 2-point line. What it does is it's
Sorry,
create.
can you share your screen?
Yep. Oh, sorry. Right. What it does is it creates line segments. So what I'll do is I'll create line segments between these projected points and this curl pattern, right? So I will have line segments like these.
Adnan, what is the start point of your
The start
line?
point is the curl pattern which I had on the surface, and the end point is the projected points, right? So like this. Done. Everyone's good. And then what I'll do is I'll simply do pipe over here. Right, so I'll convert all of these lines into pipe. I'll keep radius of my pipe as, let's say, 10 millimeters. Right, like this. And then I'll have my geometry over here, like this.
Sorry, Adnan, could you zoom out?
Yep.
I didn't understand the point on the line, basically. Yeah.
Everyone's good with this? Okay. And then what we can do over here is I can go to my display tab over here, and what display tab allows you to do is it allows you to display various things, right? So for example, let's say I have these points with me. I can simply connect these points to point list over here. And you see I have these numbers written over here,
Mm-hmm.
right? Can everyone see it on my screen?
Yeah.
So basically this distance 2 to 7 corresponds to the first lamp. So my length of my wire for the first lamp should be 2 to 7. For the second one, it should be 239.4. So, make sense to everyone? Zia, Ujwala, Sanat.
Excuse me.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, so I can seems good with everyone. Okay. I'll just zoom into this. I want all of you to complete and then we'll proceed, right? Quickly complete this much and then we'll proceed. Once you're done, let me know.
So just the move command, right?
Yes.
And then from there,
Can you share your screen?
yeah. Can you see it now?
Just a second. Yes, I can see. Can you zoom? Okay, give me a remote access.
Yeah. Hold on, I'll just move.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So we have these points over here. Let's see if this is good. Okay, so this is good. And then let's see if we, yep. Yes, Amod, this is good. What as the last step, what you just need to do is you need to connect these points, these project points.
Okay.
Over here, so then it just gives you the numbers.
Numbers. Okay.
That's it.
Got it. Thanks.
Welcome. Can I proceed further? Yes, we'll keep this script till here. We'll start with the next one. Just 1 second. what we want to do is we want to create a script for something like this, right? Let's see if we are able to do this, right? By 9, right? We have 40 minutes with us. Cool. This is what our target is. Okay. So what we need to do is, first of all, I'll start a new document. I'll create a new Rhino file. Give me a second. I'll just save it.
Our screen is not visible.
Okay, just it's not visible. Yes. Give me 1 minute. I haven't started yet. Okay, so first of all, what I'll do over here is I'll construct a point quickly. Right. Okay, I've constructed a point. And then what will I do is I'll create an array. So I'll create a linear array. My direction, I'll keep it as X direction. And count, let's say I'll keep a count of, let's say 20. Right, now if you don't want to always create a number slider, what you can do is you can always use a panel. So create a panel, write a number, and then use a panel, right? A quicker way of again doing the same thing is you do double forward slash, which activates a panel, write a number and press enter. Right? So I have something like this with me. Doable. Yes. Now what I'll do is I'll do deconstruct of these points. So I'll deconstruct these points. Right. Okay. And then what I will do is I'll use a sine curve. Right. So I'll use a sine component. Right? Seems good with everyone? Okay. And then what I will do over here is first I have these X components, right? Now if you see these X components, they are going from 0 to 190. Right? So what I will do over here is, let's say I'll use 19 only over here. Right? So this goes from 0 to 180. Seems good with everyone? Yep. Yes or no? Now these sine components by default, what is the unit of angles? The SI unit of angles is radians, right? So by default, it will take values in terms of radians, but I want to give it values in terms of degrees. So what I'll do is I'll right click over here and then I'll convert it into degrees, right? And then I'll input my X value over here.
Sorry, Adnan, I'm not getting the panel the way you are getting. Something.
Okay.
Well,
Would you like to share your screen?
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm getting like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 till 19. Right.
Can you pen left? The reason why you are getting it that way is because you have connected direction as X factor, and the factor you need to give a factor of 10 units.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and then again in the count you need to give 19. Yes, seems good.
Now, okay.
Not 19, 19, 19.
19. Okay. Okay. Because because our
Okay.
total numbers are.
Okay. Stop sharing.
Thanks.
So again, I'm having. So again, as expected, I'm having these values, right? So for example, what it has done is it has given me sine values of all of them, right? So what is sine value of x? 0? It's 0, right? Sine value of 10 is 0.1736, right? Everyone's good with this much? Koi issues, doubts, nothing, right? Now what I'm doing over here is I'm remapping these numbers. So let's say I'll remap these numbers, these sine values. What is my source? I'll have to connect bounds over here, right? And then my target over here, I'll use construct domain, right? And my target, I'll keep it, let's say, from 0 to, let's say, 90. And then again, I will construct point. And over here, I'll use X directly. I'll use Y as this one. Sorry, I'll use Z as this one. And then Y I can disconnect. Right, so I will have a curve like this. How many of you understood this script? I want somebody to explain me on my behalf what we have done.
Adan, what was the last one? XYZ coordinate?
Construct point.
Construct point, okay.
Did you understand, Ujjwala, what we did? Yes? No? Yes. Kind of, okay. What I did was, just look on my screen for 2 minutes and then you can do it on your own. I have 1 point over here. The value, the point over here is 100, right? I have second point over here which is 200. I have third point over here which is 300. I have fourth point over here which is 400. Seems good? Right, so I have points in one line where the y and z are remaining same, their x is changing linearly. And then what I do over here is I take the x component. So I take 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I pass them through a function. Let's say over here x square. So what is 1 ka square? 1. What is 2 ka square? 4. 3 ka square? 9. 4 ka square? 16. Right. Now I take this new number as my x coordinate and I take this, both of them constant. Right. So I have point like this. Yes or no? And then once I have this, I again plot it. So what will I get? I get a curve like this, exponential increasing curve. Yes or no? Simple maths. So the same thing I've done it over here. What I did was I first took linear points, right? This. Then I found out their x, y, and z components. I took their z components and then did an operation on it. Here I have done sine operation, there I have done square operation. And then I take their values and I remap them so that I get a good enough curve, right? Otherwise I'll get a very small flat curve. So I just did some remapping, right? So just multiplication, and then I use that as a z coordinate, and x coordinate I used it directly. Right, so I get a curve like this. Now what will happen if I increase this number? Let's say if I turn it 38, right? Let's say if I keep it 38 over here, I'll get a curve like this suddenly. Right, because what is happening over here is I have this curve over here. My x coordinate are now starting from 0 and it's going till 370, right? And when I find the sine values of them correspondingly, I get something like this.
Though this won't happen if we change the unit, right?
If we change the
direction, like for example, right now we're using unit. But if we change the unit and direction, then it won't happen. Like then this curve can still become a closed curve. Because
sorry, I did not get your question.
Then it won't be in intervals of 10.
Yes. So again, the reason why I am using 38 over here is because I want one complete cycle. Right, so from 0 to 360, right? So I need to have 37 over here. Right, so 0 to 360. So that I get a complete cycle.
Right, but if you change the direction, that is the unit x to like only 5, then it would still be a closed this thing. The graph, I mean the curves will not.
If you change the direction over here?
Yeah.
So again, so what you can do is, if, let's say if you keep 20 over here, then you can again keep 19 over here. So that you get a full cycle, right?
Okay, yeah, got it.
Got it. Okay. Is everyone cool with this much? Understood properly? Okay, I want all of you to complete it till here. We'll wait for 1 minute and then we'll proceed. In this script, things will get more and more complex, right? So if there is something you have not understood, let me know right away. Okay, now we have something else in Grasshopper which is known as shift list, a component known as shift list. What shift list does is, let's say if your list was A, B, C, D, E, if you do a shift list by 1, what it will do is it will do B, C, D, E, and A. If you do shift list by 2, what it will do is it will do C, D, E, A, B. If you do shift list by 3, what it will do is D, E, A, B, C. Seems good with everyone? Okay. So what I will do is just see on my screen for 1 minute, and then I'll create some space over here, and I'll use component called shift list. And then I will take this over here and I'll connect this over here, and then I'll connect a number slider from 0 to 36, 0 to 37 actually, over here, right, and connect it over here. And now if I change my number slider, just 1 second. My bad, give me a second. right? So I have something like this. Now what happened over here? I kept my x coordinate as constant, right, over here. But then what I did was I am changing my z component by 1 degrees. So what is happening is each point is changing, right? And hence I have a motion over here. Seems good? And then I can have this as big number as I want, right? Let's say I'll go from 0 to 1000 over here. Everyone's good with this? And then all these points, what I can do over here is I'll do interpolate. So that I get one close curve over here like this. Again, my screen for like 2 minutes, and then I'll allow you to do this full script, right? And then what I'll do is I'll simply copy paste the full script, but then in the next script, what I'll do over here is rather than sine, I'll change it to cos, right? Cosine over here. I'll connect this over here, I'll connect this over here, I'll connect this over here. So I'm just replacing my cosine value over here, and I need to convert this into degrees again. And but for point, what I will do is I'll move my full line to 50. I'll keep my line as 50 over here, right? 500, sorry. So that I have my line segment over here. And then again, I have an interpolated curve. And over here, I need to connect y coordinates also. Right? And then I can just simply loft them. Right? So I have a surface like this. And then I can have a same shift length, shift paths, right, over here. And then if I change this number slider over here, my surface changes. Right, I know it's a little bit.
Thanks.
Okay, Amod, let's do one thing. I'll allow others to complete the script. I'll give everyone like 5 minutes and then I'll explain you again. Meanwhile, just give it a shot on your own, and a lot of things you'll understand once you just do it once. So what initially I did was I had this point over here, 1 point over here, 1 point over here, 1 point over here. I had these points, right, Amod? And then a curve was forming like this. Right? With points over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, something like this. What I did was I then shifted this list, right? So I shifted this with 1 point. So what happened was this curve came over here, this point came over here, right? So when this came over here, this was its new position. This point came over here, so this became its new position. This point came over here, so this became new position. This point came here, so this was its new position. And this came over here, so it became its new position over here. And this point came here, while this point went all the way over here. So the curve that we got finally was something like this. Right, I did not draw it well, but you get the point, right? And then what happened was at the later state, again I did shift list. So what happened was this point came here. This point came here. This point came here. This point came here. Right, so something like this. And then it again created a curve like this. Right, everyone's clear? Ujwala, Zeus.